Hi, in this video we'll be going over binomial distribution on our TI-84 or Calculate 84 calculators. And so in a previous video we went over how to work through these problems using the binomial distribution formula. This is actually much quicker, much easier. And so the first thing I want to talk about today is when do you use the binomial distribution formula? And so in both of our examples here, you'll notice that uh, a coin was tossed, and a coin has two sides. So think about the word binomial. There's two chances of two different things happening, a success and a failure, but it's not just one coin. So if it were just one coin, we would not need the binomial distribution formula. The fact that we're tossing this coin 5 times means a ton of different things can happen. And so this binomial distribution helps us to organize everything, and we don't have to see everything. We just get the numbers that we need. All right, so the first question says, what is the probability of getting exactly 3 heads? And so heads is our success, and we are tossing the coin 5 times. So there are 5 trials. So the numbers that we need here, we need 3 numbers in this question. We need n, which is the number of trials. I'll write that down. And that's equal to 5. We also need k, which is our successes. And the successes that we want here are 3 for the 3 heads. And finally, we need p for the probability of success. And since it's a fair coin, the probability of success is 0.5 or half. All right, so we're going to be entering those numbers into the calculator. So in order to do this, this is a probability question, and I'll get into the difference between probability and cumulative probability in a second. To access this, we go to second vars, which is our distribution, because we are looking for binomial distribution. And here we have binomial CDF and binomial PDF. Whenever you're looking for an exact number of successes, so in this case, we're looking for exactly 3, we'd use PDF. So I'm going to enter that. The first thing I enter here, the calculator tells you, is n. We have n as 5, so I'm going to put 5, comma. The next thing I enter, the calculator tells you, is p. So I'm going to put 0.5 for my p value. And finally, the x value is actually the k value, so that's 3. And so we're going to enter that there. We're going to close our parenthesis and enter. And just like that, we've found our final answer super quickly. It's 0.3. Let's make sure we have that right. It's 0.3125. And if we have to get that in a percent, we just move that decimal point over 2 places and we get 31.25%. So if you were to use a formula, it is a lot more involved. I definitely suggest using the calculator if you are able to. All right, so example 2 is a slightly harder, but not too much. It says, what's the probability of getting at most 3 heads? So at most 3 heads means that I could get 0 heads, 1 head, 2 head, or 3 heads. So probability of 0 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 2, and at most 3, so that does include 3, probability of 3. Now the good news is that the calculator does this cumulative probability for you. You do not have to do each and every one. You could, if we were to do the same steps we did in example 1 for 0, 1, 2, and 3 and add them up, we would get the right answer. But the quick way of doing this now is to just go into or binomial CDF. And the C is for cumulative. So again, we go to second vars, we scroll down to binomial CDF, enter. And again, our values are the same here. So we go ahead and we put that in, 5 for 5 trials, 0.5 because it's 50% chance that you land on heads, and 3 because we're going up to 3. We close our parenthesis and we enter, and we get 0.8125, I believe it was. Let's double check. Yes, that is correct. Move the decimal point over 2 places to get it as a percent. And there you have it. So before I wrap up this video, I do want to mention that sometimes it can get a little bit tricky. So for example, if a question said, what is the probability of getting, oops, of getting at least 3 heads. Now that you can't just put 3 in. So at least 3 heads really means probability of 3 plus probability of 4 plus probability of 5. Now, the way the calculator reads is from left to right. It's cumulating the numbers from 0 all the way up to whatever your k value is. So really we are looking for the cumulative probability. So I'm going to say binomial, CDF up to 2. So I'm just going to write that in words, up to 2. So if you really wanted to find the probability of getting at least 3, you're really looking for up to 2, and then after you do that, it's everything else. So 1 minus the probability up to 2. And that will give you 3, 4, and 5. So again, if we wanted to find the probability of getting at least 3, that's 3, 4, and 5, we would have to find the probability of getting up to 2, so that's 0, 1, 2, that's everything else, and so we can then subtract that from 1. So I'm not going to get into all of that, but as you get used to the wording, you always want to make sure that you're really looking at the numbers they're asking for before you just blindly plug into the calculator. Yes, the calculator makes it easy, but the calculator is only as smart as you are. All right, that's it for today.